So Asus sent over their Strix GTX 1060. Now this is obviously a very new card, it's actually pretty awesome and we're going to take a look at it in the video and give you full performance numbers at 1080p, 1440p and 4K just to give you an idea of how it works. So yeah, stick around, hope you enjoy it. So as usual, the box covers all of the new sort of features, including the Rgb Lighting and the Asus Fan Connect that we'll talk about later. And the card itself actually features the cooler that's pretty much identical to the ones found on the GTX 1080 and 1070, which it means that it's very efficient. It's very good at cooling, kept at about 60 degrees under full load, even on a very hot ambient temperature room, which is awesome. It obviously features the Rgb lighting as well as the triple fans to keep the thing nice and cool. It's also pretty quiet as well, which is nice. The backplate is quite nice. You've got an ROG logo, obviously the Asus and Strix logos, and some sort of cool designs and cutouts. And on the back, these are the fan connectors I was talking about. Basically, they are for case fans that directly affect the temperature of the graphics card. So say a case fan in the front of your case that blows air onto the card. Also on the side, you have a lot of heatsink on show, but you also have the RG logo and an 8-pin as opposed to a 6-pin PCIe power connector, which means you do have a bit more overclocking headroom. The I/O is pretty nice as well. Obviously DVI-D, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports that are VR ready, and DisplayPort 1.4 to those as well. This is the RGB lighting. Looks quite cool. It kind of comes stock as a kind of glowing breathing mode. And in terms of the card itself, in terms of the specs, you've got 1280 CUDA cores, an 1873 MHz boost clock with a 1645 MHz base clock, and 6 GB of GDDR5 with a 192-bit memory interface. Now in terms of performance, it actually does really well here, especially at 1440p. This is definitely where the card comes into its own in terms of performance and does a really good job of 1440p gaming. Obviously it's perfectly fine for 1080p gaming as well, but this one really doesn't do all that great at a 4K gaming. You're definitely looking at like sort of 30 to 40 FPS on high settings at the majority of titles. If you did want to turn down the settings though, I'm sure that would work decently well at sort of 60 FPS, which is quite nice, but 1440p on high and ultra settings does ridiculously well here. You're easily seeing 60 to 80 FPS in the majority of titles and easily 100 FPS at 1080p. So yeah, it's a really nice performer. As I said, it's quite quiet, it kept itself really cool. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. It's a pretty awesome card. So as you can see, this card is pretty impressive. In terms of the performance difference between this and an RX 480, that's something I will cover in a separate video, which will include price and price to performance in as well, so do stick out for that. But yeah, nonetheless, this Strix card is really awesome. Obviously being aftermarket, it has the 8-pin as opposed to 6-pin power connector for a little bit more of overclocking headroom. You also have the very efficient cooling solution, so I think it was sitting about 60 degrees C maximum under full load, like full gaming load, which is really impressive, especially considering the ambient temperature is about 35 degrees in this room. So because Britain is just burning up right now for many reasons. But yeah, nonetheless, it's an awesome card. The cooling is fantastic. It looks pretty cool too, especially with the lighting on the bottom. So if you were to have this in like a test bed type system, it just looks really cool. But yeah, nonetheless, it's an awesome card. In terms of the actual kind of pros and cons, the main con here is that SLI is disabled. Obviously this is across all 1060s and it's just a little bit annoying. Obviously if you look at the figures, it's not a massive issue in terms of the number of people actually running SLI and Crossfire right now, but it still does limit your options, because if someone, for example, has buys one of these now but can't afford a 1070 or anything, but wants more performance, they're going to have to sell this one and get another one 6 months or a year down the line, versus just picking up another one, which is quite annoying. I think the other main thing, the main reason they probably did it was likely possibly to increase sales, but also because two of these 1060s will beat a 1080 in both performance and prices, and it'll be cheaper to pick up two of these versus a 1080. So that's likely the reason, although that's still speculation obviously. But yeah, nonetheless, it's still an awesome card. It still does a really good job of obviously cooling itself and playing games very well. So yeah, I don't really have too much bad to say about it. In terms of scoring, I'm going to go for 5 for everything but functionality, because SLI is missing, and I'm going to go for a gold award. It really is an awesome card, and if you're looking for something in between in terms of price, the RX 480 and a 1070, this is a really good shout right now. Obviously if you're looking for a real budget build, then a 1050, whenever that does come out, might be a better shout for you. But yeah, nonetheless, this is awesome. do check it out, and obviously as I said, stick around for the difference between this and the RX 480. Actually, one thing I would like to ask is the fan connectors on the back, which allow you to plug in fans that directly affect the temperature of the graphics card. So, for example, a fan right in the front of your case that blows straight onto the graphics card. Is that something you would use? Would you actually move your fan headers off of your motherboard, or your fans connected to your motherboard, and plug them into the graphics card, or would you just leave them there and let the motherboard kind of do all the work there? Be interested to know. Also, a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed. As of filming, I've just hit 20,000, which is really awesome. It's just incredible to know that you guys enjoy the videos, and if you're new to the channel, I'd love to know what subscriber count you were at when you watched this video. I expected this one, especially being a launch video of a 1060, will be relatively popular, so yeah, I'd love to know, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to like the video if you did like it, and dislike if you dislike it, but let me know why in the comments down below so I can improve for next time. If you want to pick up this card, it'd be awesome if you use my Amazon affiliate link. It genuinely helps me pay the rent and stuff like that. So if you do that, that would be awesome when you're picking up this or legitimately anything that they sell on Amazon. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I guess that's that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next video.